Have you ever woken up and immediately felt a heavy weight pressing down on your chest? It's as if, the moment consciousness returns, your mind is besieged by pressures, mistakes, and countless worst-case scenarios for the day ahead. Perhaps you start your morning worrying about bills, suffocating deadlines, or the lingering pain of yesterday's conflict, still smoldering. And so, before even stepping out of bed, you already feel defeated. If that sounds like your reality, if every morning feels like waking up on a battlefield rather than receiving a sacred gift, then this story is for you. Because there was once a woman who woke up with resentment and exhaustion toward everything for years, until an ancient method, taking just 5 minutes a day, reversed everything. It didn't just change how she started her day, it changed her entire life. Stay with me until the end of this video to discover this secret. In the heart of a bustling metropolis, where skyscrapers reach proudly for the clouds, and people rush past each other like ghosts in a relentless grind, lived a 38-year-old woman named May. May possessed what most would call a perfect life: a powerful position as a communications director, a luxury apartment, and enough wealth to never worry about bills. On paper, she had no reason to complain. Yet, the reality behind those luxury doors was a silent tragedy. Every dawn for May was a torment of the soul. As soon as the alarm rang, her first thought wasn't gratitude for a new day, but a sense of suffocation. May lay there, right next to her devoted husband and her young daughter, whose breath was sweet with the scent of sunlight, but she felt none of that warmth. The morning light filtered through silk curtains, illuminating the child's innocent face, but May's heart remained frozen in indifference. Instead of a kiss for her husband or a hug for her child, she saw them as detached puzzle pieces in a picture she no longer had the emotion to admire. She would waste the first 10 minutes of her day staring at her phone, drowning in outrageous news and posts that made her feel inadequate. Watching the filtered brilliance of others on social media only made her heart more gray. By the time she forced herself out of bed, her mood had completely collapsed, as gloomy as a sky before a thunderstorm. At breakfast, the presence of her family was merely a bothersome distraction. She could no longer taste the aroma of her tea or find joy in her daughter's laughter. May's mind was already at the office, rehearsing media risks, predicting subordinate errors, and chewing on yesterday's frustrations. Her husband, observing her sullen silence over coffee, spoke softly. "May, when was the last time you were actually happy to wake up?" She stared into the fading steam, unable to find an answer. "I can't remember," she finally replied. "Maybe when I was a child, before life became a series of complex calculations." Her husband took her hand, his voice thick with disappointment and sorrow. "May, you are alive, you are healthy, and you have a family that loves you dearly, but you act as if life is a life sentence rather than a sacred gift." Those words stung because they were the brutal truth, but May didn't know how to escape. Negativity had become a natural instinct, an automatic reflex, like breathing. She constantly deceived herself with promises. "I'll be happy when this project ends, when I have more money, when things get easier." But that when never arrived. The heaviness increasingly possessed May's soul, gnawing at her sleep, destroying her relationships and rendering her silent to all joy. Even a raise or a sunny day could not pierce the thick fog of negativity in her mind. It reached a breaking point one evening when her husband uttered a final warning. "May, I love you, but I cannot continue to wake up next to someone who hates her own existence." Every single morning. That night, May lay motionless, staring at the ceiling, asking herself a question she had long avoided. When did I lose myself? And how do I find my way back? The next morning, May woke up at 5:30 a.m. Insomnia and a heavy sense of guilt made it impossible to stay in that silk bed any longer. Instead of letting her mind be swept into the usual whirlpool of anxiety, May did something she hadn't done in years. She put on her shoes and walked outside while the city was still drowsy. The city felt strange. No honking horns, no rushing crowds. In a small, misty park, May encountered a sight that made her stop. An elderly man, around 70 years old, was sitting leisurely on a bench, feeding the birds. He wore simple clothes, his face radiating an extraordinary sense of peace. Amidst the pressures of New York, what stunned May most was his smile. Not a social smile for a party, but a smile of deep, internal contentment. Drawn by that peaceful energy, May approached. "May I sit with you?" The old man smiled warmly and signaled for her to sit. After a moment of silence, watching the birds soar, May couldn't contain herself. "Sir, how can you be so happy? I feel like I lost that feeling a long time ago." The old man chuckled softly. "Young lady, do you think happiness is a treasure to be found? Isn't it?" May asked, bewildered. "No, happiness is a skill, and like any other skill, it needs to be practiced every day." He looked deep into her eyes. "Tell me, what was the first thought that entered your head when you woke up this morning?" May hesitated, a sense of shame rising. "I thought about deadlines, meetings, and the fear that I would fail again." "And yesterday morning? The morning before that?" the old man continued. May froze as she realized a cruel truth. For years, she had been repeating that exact same toxic psychological pattern. The old man's voice grew firm. "My friend, you are training your mind to be an expert at finding problems. Every morning, you practice anxiety, and now you are very, very good at it." Those words hit May like a bucket of cold water. She realized she wasn't just suffering from negativity, she was training it to be her default mode. "Can I retrain it?" May asked, her voice trembling. The old man smiled, his eyes sparkling with ancient wisdom. "Yes, and it all begins with a notebook and 5 minutes every morning before you touch the noisy world outside." The old man slowly reached into his worn coat pocket and pulled out a small, weathered notebook with a leather cover stained by time. He opened it, revealing pages crowded with handwriting, each line a testament to persistent discipline. "For the past 20 years, he said with a voice that was warm yet commanding, "I have done exactly one thing every morning before I touch any device. Before I let the calculations of the new day invade, I write down 3 things I am grateful for." May looked at the notebook with clear skepticism. As a communications director used to complex strategies and massive numbers, she blurted out, "Just that? Just writing a few lines can change this heaviness?" The old man didn't answer immediately. He leaned down and picked up 2 stones from the ground, one pitch black like coal, and one light-colored, shimmering in the early sun. "Imagine your mind is like a garden," he began to explain. Every morning, you are the sower. If you sow worry, jealousy, and complaints, he held up the dark stone, then that is what will surround your soul all day long. But if you choose to sow gratitude, appreciation, and awareness of good things, he held up the light stone, then peace will grow in its place. He placed both stones into May's trembling hand and said, "Right now, your garden is full of dark stones because you've been sowing them for so long. But you have the power to change your seeds, starting tomorrow." He explained that this method didn't require anything grand, just specificity. Don't write cliches like "grateful for health." Write about real moments. He showed her his journal entry from that morning. 1. The way the sunlight filtered through the leaves and warmed my skin. 2. The rich aroma of the early morning tea. 3. The innocent wave from the neighbor's child. "Such small things, sir?" May asked. "Exactly," he affirmed, "because those small things are the real life you are living. The brilliant successes or future goals you chase are just ideas, ghosts of tomorrow. Only the present is real." The old man looked into May's eyes and recalled the ancient wisdom of the Stoic emperor, Marcus Aurelius. "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." He explained that this notebook was her way to train her mind according to that teaching. He warned, "The first few days will be hard. Your mind will resist. It will tell you this is silly and useless. But persevere. After a week, you will automatically start hunting for good things during the day to have something to write down. After a month, you will realize your mood has changed, not because the world outside is better, but because your attention has been retrained." He closed the book and handed May a pristine white notebook from his bag. 30 days, he said with a kind smile. "Just 30 days. 3 specific things. Before doing anything else. Do you commit?" May took the notebook, feeling its weight. Not the weight of pressure, but the weight of a new opportunity. For the first time in years, instead of fear, she felt a flicker of curiosity. "I will," she whispered. Day 1. May woke up at 6 a.m. Instinctively, her arm reached for the phone, but she stopped when she felt the rough leather cover of the notebook. She sat up, took a pen, and faced the blank page. Her mind was empty. Old worries tried to creep in, but she brushed them aside and wrote, 1. I woke up and I am breathing. 2. This pillow is comfortable. 3. My husband and child are still beside me. It felt silly and forced, but she had placed the first light stones in her garden. Day 5. The entries became clearer. 1. The sparkle in my daughter's eyes when she told me about her dream. 2. This morning's coffee is rich and warm. 3. My husband secretly filled up my car's gas tank. May didn't feel less pressured yet, but she persisted. Day 12. A silent shift occurred. In a tense meeting at the office, while colleagues were arguing heatedly, May suddenly noticed sunbeams piercing through the leaves outside, creating dancing patterns of light on the table. A strange sense of relaxation flowed through her. She thought, tomorrow, I will write about this moment, for the first time in years. Instead of looking for her employees' flaws, she was busy, searching for the beauty of reality. Day 17. May's journal was now full of vivid details. 1. The sound of rain on the roof, feeling like all troubles are being washed away. 2. My husband prepared a cozy dinner when I came home late. 3. I noticed the flower buds on the balcony starting to bloom. Spring is present, right in my home. May's husband looked at her longer than usual and whispered, "Lately, it feels like you are coming back to me." Day 25. May woke up before the alarm rang, not because of anxiety, but because she was eager to open her notebook. She wrote with joy. 1. I woke up and I love this life, a feeling that has been missing for a long time. 2. The peace of watching my husband and child sleep. 3. I realize I have the power to choose my attitude in the face of any adversity. Day 30. May returned to the park at 5:30 a.m. The old man was still there, serene among the birds. May sat down and handed him the notebook, now filled to the last page. "I did it," she said, her voice choked with emotion. "You were right. My circumstances are the same. The work is still high pressure, but the world inside me has changed. I've found the joy and the ability to be present that I thought were gone forever." The old man placed a hand on her shoulder. "They never went away, May. They were just buried under the dust of ingratitude. Now, keep practicing this forever. This isn't a short-term challenge. It's a lifestyle for one who masters their own mind." 6 months later, May still maintains the habit of writing 3 things she is grateful for every morning. It is no longer a forced task. It has become as natural and essential as breathing. Her relationship with her husband and daughter is stronger and warmer than ever because she is truly present in every moment with them. May's job as a communications director is still full of pressure, but her experience of it has completely changed. She still has bad days and unexpected crises, but they no longer have the power to swallow her soul. She has learned to stand firm in the middle of the storm. Every few weeks, she returns to the park at dawn to meet the old man. They sit together in peaceful silence, watching the world wake up in the sunrise, sharing a connection that needs no words. My friend, May's story is your story. It is the story of anyone chasing a perfect life in the future, while forgetting to appreciate the life they have in the present. May didn't have a terminal illness. She suffered from the disease of our time, the languishing of the soul. She had everything, but possessed nothing, because her mind had become a slave to worst-case scenarios that never happened. This is the truth that changed May's life, as taught by Marcus Aurelius. You cannot control what happens to you, but you have total control over where you place your attention. And where you place your attention determines your entire experience of life. You might think this is just a gentle therapy, but neuroscientists call it retraining the brain's filter. Research from the University of California has proven that maintaining focus on gratitude can reduce cortisol, the stress hormone, by up to 23%. It doesn't just change your mood, it is actually changing your biological structure. Right now, you stand before a choice. You can wake up tomorrow in the same old rut, reach for your phone, fill your mind with negative notifications, and start the day in anxious passivity. Or you can try something different. Tonight, before you close your eyes, place a notebook and a pen right by your bed instead of your phone. Tomorrow morning, before your feet touch the floor, before checking any electronic device, write down 3 specific things you are grateful for from yesterday. Don't be vague. Be specific. The warmth of the tea on your tongue, a tight hug from a loved one, or simply the comfort of the pillow you are lying on. Even the fact that you can see, hear, and breathe this air. If you still find it difficult, fill in the blanks. 1. I feel grateful because yesterday I enjoyed a certain food or drink with a taste that was. 2. I truly appreciate the action of a certain person because it made me feel. 3. I realized the beauty of a natural object or space while I was. Action tonight. Choose a beautiful notebook and place it on your nightstand. Don't forget to put a pen on top so that tomorrow morning, the first thing you do is sow the seeds of light in your mental garden. Persist with this every morning for 30 days. I promise you, if you truly commit, you won't just change how you start your day, you will change your entire life. Not because the world becomes easier, but because you become stronger and more refined in recognizing the good that was always there. If May's story touched your heart, please share it with those who need a ray of light amidst the pressures of life. Leave a comment about the first thing you are grateful for right now, no matter how small. Like and subscribe to become part of a community striving to live more mindfully every day. Let these ancient philosophies be your companion in your growth. Remember, life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by your choice. And that choice begins the moment you wake up tomorrow morning. Wake up with gratitude. Be patient with yourself and never stop growing. I have prepared the Wisdom Ledger, a 30-day journey to help you reclaim your peace from the very moment you wake up. Click the link below to receive this gift and join me in writing a brand new chapter of your life starting tomorrow morning.